My dad said I had to lose everything before I could inherit. I thought my dad hated me the day he told me I had to lose everything before I could inherit anything from him, and he did not explain what that even meant. He just looked at me like he already knew how it would end. And that was the last real conversation we ever had before he passed away a few months later. I grew up in a wealthy family, not billionaire level, but comfortable enough that I never had to worry about money my whole life. So when the will was read, I expected at least something. Maybe the house, maybe a trust fund. But instead I got nothing except a single letter that repeated the same line. You need to lose everything first. At that point I was angry and confused because I had not even been given a chance to prove anything. My stepbrother got the business, my cousins got properties, and I got a sentence that sounded more like a punishment than an inheritance. So I did what most people would do. I tried to move on. I used my savings to start a small online business thinking I would prove him wrong and build something on my own. But everything that could go wrong went wrong. My business failed within months, my savings disappeared faster than I expected, and soon I could not even afford rent. I ended up selling my car, moving into a tiny shared apartment, and taking random jobs just to survive. And that was the first time in my life I realized how fragile everything really was. Every day felt heavier than the last, and for a while I truly believed my dad had just set me up to fail. But then something strange happened when I was at my lowest point. I received a call from a lawyer who said he had been instructed to contact me only after I had no registered assets left in my name. At first, I thought it was some kind of scam, but he knew details about my dad that no one else could know, so I agreed to meet him. And when I walked into his office, he handed me a file that completely changed everything. Inside were documents showing that my dad had secretly transferred a massive investment portfolio into a separate trust years ago. But it had one condition. It could only be accessed if I had nothing left. No property, no savings, no business, nothing. The lawyer explained that my dad believed I would never understand the value of what he built unless I experienced losing it all first. And the moment I qualified, the entire inheritance would legally become mine. I remember sitting there in silence trying to process how everything in my life had just flipped in a single moment from being completely broke to suddenly owning more than I ever imagined. But the part that stayed with me the most was a final note my dad had left in that file saying, "Now you finally know what it feels like to have nothing, so you will never waste what you were about to receive." And for the first time I understood what he was trying to teach me, but I still cannot decide if putting me through all that was worth it. So tell me, was he teaching me a lesson or did he go too far?